we're going to look at velocity. And velocity is the physics word for speed. But velocity has one major difference to speed, and that is that velocity is a vector quantity, whereas speed is just a scalar. And this is probably a good opportunity to revise that. If I've got a car, which is awfully drawn there, if I've got a car and it's going that way 5 meters per second, if it's going forwards 5 meters per second, its speed is 5 meters per second. If it chooses to reverse, and you ask somebody what the speed it is going, it's 5 meters per second. There is no difference between forward and back with speed, because speed only has magnitude, which means amount. But what you need to write. So speed only has magnitude. Velocity, though, has magnitude and direction. So velocity has magnitude, good, but direction. Because physicists and scientists need to know which way something is going. And so, as opposed to this car here going forwards at 5 meters per second, we can actually be told that reverse is in the opposite direction by putting a minus sign. So one direction will be plus and one will be minus. And so to a physicist, you'd be able to say that if a car is going 5 meters per second, it's going one way, and if that same car was going minus 5 meters per second, it would have the same magnitude, but it would be going in the opposite direction. And we call this a vector quantity. It has magnitude and direction. And velocity is one such quantity. So what is velocity? Well, once again, in physics, now you know that velocity is speed, but with a direction thrown in as well. You should actually be able to feel confident you know a lot about velocity already, because you know that you might describe a car as going, say, and I'm not going to, this is a car, and you might know that a car is going 60 miles per hour. And what does that mean? Well, you may remember from your basic common entrance or earlier things that speed equals distance over time. And that's exactly the same for velocity. And in 60 miles per hour, we're saying that this car is going 60 miles in 1 hour. That's what we're saying. Now, as well as the difference between speed and velocity being a scalar for speed and vector for velocity quantity, we also have a difference of units, because we don't actually talk about miles per hour in physics. We talk about meters per second. And so that simply means a velocity of 1 meter per second is 1 meter in 1 second. And so a velocity of 30 meters per second equals 30 meters in 1 second. Now, velocity really is that simple. It is a speed that an object is going in a certain direction, and it will be plus or minus. The last thing to say about velocity is this. This is the, if I just ring this, this is the kind of more old-fashioned way of saying per. That divide line there is the old-fashioned way of saying per second. But physicists write it as 1 meter per second to the minus 1. So the velocity unit is ms to the minus 1. So, 3 things to know about velocity. 1, it is a vector quantity, which means it has magnitude and direction. An amount, and physicists are told which way it's going by either being plus or minus. The second thing is the formula, which is the distance over the time taken, that it's measured in meters per second, and that is written ms to the minus 1. So that is velocity.